Good afternoon, Monadnock region. Welcome to another very special episode of GOMO Tonight, in this case, during the day. We're here, and we're actually recording this right before you're going to see it. I'm your host, Chris DiLoretto, here with my lovely co-host,
Zoe Roten-Heinsman.
And today, Friday the 10th, we are here to talk with Eugene Uman. Am I saying that correctly?
I pronounce it Uman, U-M-A-N,
Uman.
Yeah.
Uman.
Without the H.
Uman, director of the Vermont Jazz Center, and he's here to talk with us today about a very special jazz event that is going on tomorrow night at the Park Theater in Jaffrey that we're very excited about. We're going to be there. It's a Valentine's Day weekend kind of thing. So real excited to have you on. Thanks for coming, Eugene.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me, Chris and Zoe. It's great to see you both.
Yeah. So tell us a little about the event that's happening on Sunday night and the ensemble that's performing.
Absolutely. So on Sunday, the 12th at 4 p.m., we're going to be at the Park Theater in Jaffrey. And this is a group called the Convergence Group, and it depends on the number of people in it. In this case, it's the quartet because we've got our bass trio, which is myself on piano and Jon Fisher on drums and David Picchi on the bass. And we play together a lot. The three of us have been playing together now. Well, I met them when they were in college. They were my students, actually, and now we're colleagues. And they're just fantastic musicians. I'm honored to be playing with them. And we're joined by this wonderful singer named Wanda Houston, who will just blow your mind. She's one of my favorite singers in the entire planet. And she's got, how do I describe her? She's connected. She grew up in Chicago and was really involved with theater in Chicago, but her family belonged to a gospel church. So she got her, she started in music at
Absolutely.
A gospel church, and then went on and did opera, and then toured doing Broadway stuff, and now continues to work mostly gigging, doing weekend gigs like this. And she's an amazing singer, wonderful. And so we're going to be playing mostly original music because that's something that Monadnock music really encourages, and that's something that they found out about my own particular repertoire. And most of the music that I write is gospel or Latin influenced. I've lived for several years in Colombia, South America, and so I've gleaned some of the rhythms from them, from that culture, and have incorporated that into the music. And my training is mostly in jazz, but because I've played in a lot of rock bands, I've got this affinity for that groove. And so the music will be that's why we call it the Convergence Project, because it's the convergence of different kinds of musics and resources. And, each of the members of the band shares that kind of shares those influences of rock, jazz, and gospel. And then I bring in, of course, the Latin thing, and they've learned a lot about that and are also doing that type of music as well. So that's a little summary about what you can expect to hear.
Yeah, that's great. So the and I should have mentioned that up front when I was screwing up the date for the jazz I'm going to. It's Sunday, not Saturday, as I said at the beginning of the episode. But this is put on by Monadnock Music, which we have brought to you, the audience, in the past. How did you guys get hooked up with Monadnock Music?
Well, Paul Venezio called me. He said, "Hey, listen, I am now on the board, and we are interested in branching out. They do really interesting classical type of programming, and they love the idea of stretching the parameters of what classical music might be. So they're now starting to think about, okay, let's look into music that is original and jazz influenced." And so Paul reached out to me, and then I spoke with Lena, and we had a great conversation, and we brainstormed different kinds of ideas, and we decided on this concert as a way to introduce like a collaborative effort between the Vermont Jazz Center, which is what I run. I'm the director of the Vermont Jazz Center, and Monadnock Music. It's a real honor to have been called by Monadnock Music. I really respect the work they do, and I feel really grateful to them for having offered us this gig and for creating this collaboration.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, honestly, it sounds like a really good match. Like, tell us a little bit about the Vermont Jazz Center.
Well, the Vermont Jazz Center has been going on for almost 50 years. I took it over with my wife Elsa in 1997. So we're celebrating our 25th year of being the directors of the Vermont Jazz Center. And what
cool.
we do is we specialize in bringing in some of the top names in jazz up from New York and wherever, and presenting a concert once a month of really the top names. For example, next Saturday on the 18th of February, we're going to be presenting the Jonathan Blake Trio. Jonathan Blake is a drummer who's played with everybody that you read about, including Kenny Barron, who's one of my favorite pianists. And Chris Potter is the saxophone player. He played with Dave Holland. And Linda O is the bass player. This is like really a world-class trio of some of the best players of their generation. We're going to be doing that on the 18th of February. And I could go on and on. We've got all kinds of concerts coming up. And we also do educational activities. We have a wonderful summer jazz workshop every August that we've been also running for over 40 years. I took it over, like I said, in 97, and I've been running it every year since then. Even during the pandemic, we did a virtual summer workshop. And we have classes at the Vermont Jazz Center. There's a jam session every Wednesday, and we hope more people from the Monadnock region come to our jam session. It's from 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock. It only costs $3. And it's a great scene. So we have lots of stuff going on. We have a beautiful website, and it's www.vtjazz.org. And you can go there and find out.
Yeah, we'll put that in the notes as well.
Thanks.
Yeah. Wow. Where do you guys perform?
When you say you guys, you mean the Convergence Quartet?
Vermont Jazz Center in general, and the jam sessions and all that stuff. I assume in Vermont, but
good question. I didn't even think about that. We have a beautiful space.
Oh, really? It's your own? Oh, cool.
Yeah. We have all of our performances take place. Most of our performances take place at the Vermont Jazz Center, which is in the Cotton Mill building, which is in Brattleboro. I don't know if you've been there or not, but it's this huge brick building that has other artist studios, and it's an incubator space for entrepreneurs. And we've been there. This is like the same thing. Elsa and I have been there for 25 years, and we've expanded our space now. But it's big enough to house 200 people in the audience. And we've got top-of-the-line sound and great lighting and a big archive. So we have most of our stuff, including the classes and the jam sessions, take place on our stage, which is the same stage that the performances happen. And people can tune in. We do as many of the concerts as we can get permission for. Our live stream events that we want to have an even playing field and not to have jazz be an elitist music. So all of those events are free. So if you want to watch, for example, the Jonathan Blake Trio concert next Saturday, you can just tune into our website at 7:30, which is when we start our concerts, and see the whole thing.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And we, because I still have connections in Colombia, people in Colombia are doing like listening gatherings, so they come together, like the school that I used to teach at. They come together on the nights of our concert and drink beer and watch our concerts. It's really kind of cool.
That's cool. That is cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
That is very cool. Speaking of like location, I don't know if we said this earlier, but this concert with the Convergence Quartet. It's a quartet this time.
Quartet because there's four of us saying,
Yes.
in the band. But sometimes it's a sextet. I write for more pieces.
I read that on the website, and so that was stuck in my head. So I wanted to make sure I got it right. But this is the Convergence Quartet, Sunday afternoon at 4 at the Park Theater in Jaffrey.
Park Theater in Jaffrey.
And that's a sliding scale. Pay what you will. I think 25 to 50 is their suggested ticket price. But we're looking forward to it.
Great jazz, great venue, great organization, Monadnock Music. You guys know we've talked about it many times before, and I think we'll likely be having Lena back on within a couple of months to kind of talk about the programming for the rest of the year. So really excited. But thanks for coming on, Eugene. We hope to run into you on Sunday, and we hope to run into many of you in the audience there as well.
Well, you know where I'll be.
Yeah, I do.
And I'm glad to know that you'll be in the audience. I look forward to making your acquaintance. And also, if we could, I'd love to put the Vermont Jazz Center activities on this wonderful podcast that you guys do. And so that we can perhaps stay in touch when we have concerts and maybe do some more interviews. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'd love to get people informed about it, because I'm just discovering it myself and kind of being like, why haven't I known about this since 1997, you know?
Probably because you're too young.
Maybe. I might have had some awareness of jazz by then, I think. But yeah, I probably wouldn't have been traveling to Vermont for it. But in any case, thank you again. And we look forward to the program on Sunday. And we hope to see many of you there as well.
Great. Thank you so much. It's been really nice talking with you guys. I really appreciate the work you do.
Great. Thank you.